We have more FUD coming from China again, this time allegedly making exchanges illegal in their nation. But is it true? Also, Japan's internet giant is suddenly set to control 6% of all the new Bitcoin mined in the world by the end of 2018. And what does this mean for the value per Bitcoin? And the United States has introduced a new bill to add regulations in process to eliminate a disincentive for people to use Bitcoin or cryptocurrencies under $600. Could there be pros and cons? All of this, plus Ethereum ETFs, Ethereum Classic ETFs, and more. Let's discuss. Hey everybody, I'm Gary Palmer Jr., you're you, and together, welcome to Minting Coins. So in this video, we're going to be talking about a lot, including what's happening with this news out of China, what news coming from the New York Stock Exchange company with the Ethereum ETF, and what does this mean for Grayscale company, and then also taking a peek around to understand how additional companies are going to be mining additional Bitcoin, and all of this increase in the difficulty has been correlating to that price per Bitcoin, which we could see increase exponentially as time goes on. Hey everybody, welcome to the show. Thanks for being here. Thanks for showing up. Hit that like button, leave your comments and your thoughts in the comments box below. Say hello, and we love having you here. We're really excited about what's going on in the space. We're really excited about bringing this information to you, and we're really excited about the engagement in the community that we're a part of in this industry. It's just taking everything over. It's really, really exciting. Thanks for being here. Before we get started, I just wanted to encourage you to be part of the community, be part of the comments, be part of SteemIt. Consider, any way that you can do more than just hold on to these coins, because any way that you can participate in the blockchain community is an additional opportunity for real value to be added. Because essentially when it comes down to what is money, money is just people engaging with each other and people providing either products or services. And sometimes that's, just being there for each other and creating that community with each other, which is what any industry really is made up, and it's really what it's a part of. So with that being said, let's take a peek into the market and let's take a look at the news and let's discuss. Okay, so starting over here at coinmarketcap.com, we are in a world with 867 different cryptocurrencies. A current market cap at 151, pushing $152 billion. 24-hour trading volume, $6.9 billion. So a healthy amount for the past 24 hours, and relatively low from where the highs that we were seeing with the cryptocurrency total market capitalizations that were closer to upwards toward $170 billion. But there's ups and there's downs, and where is this market going overall? I guess we're going to see as the next 12 months and the next 36 months unfold, right? Our Bitcoin dominance, we still have a Bitcoin, I'll call it strong, at 47%. Really right now, anything between 45 and 50% is really a strong spot for Bitcoin with the current state of affairs, but that can easily change. Right now Ethereum is exceptionally low, I would say, especially when we're looking at this in terms of the Bitcoin price. When we're looking in terms of the Bitcoin price, we're used to seeing this at a 0.7, 0.07, 0.08 price of Ethereum per Bitcoin. I've seen the Ethereum back when Ethereum first hit that $400 per Ether price. Bitcoin was a lot lower, so maybe around $3,000, and so the Ether price in Bitcoin was about 1.35, 1.4, more than twice as much where it is now, if memory serves. So the market capitalization of Ethereum could just swell overnight based on a lot of different factors. And so it's always really important just to recognize that even with Bitcoin Cash, with Ripple, with Litecoin, with Dash, with Monero, with each of these down the list, any one of them could be the go-to coin that people across the world just would demand and need if there was a reason for them to demand and need it. Right now, overall, I think that there was one coin that would happen to, that would be the Bitcoin coin, the Bitcoin token, the Bitcoin digital asset, currently $71 billion, current price $4,300. And we are down. We're red across most things in the market except Monero. I don't have it later on in the news, but Monero is undergoing a sooner than scheduled hard fork to adjust the needs of their miners and the difficulty level that Monero is at, apparently, and just adding different updates and features to add to the security of the Monero blockchain. Very, very popular, over $1 billion market cap, $1.8 billion, $120 per token. Probably arguably one of the strongest privacy coins that exists. And of the top 10, we have, Dash has privacy coin aspects, Monero has privacy coin aspects, and then the strongest one after that would be Zcash. And Zcash is a great long-term prospect, I think, for myself personally, because with Zcash we have currently only, wow, I didn't really realize it was so few right now. There's only 2.1 million Zcash in existence, and I'm pretty sure that there's never going to be more than 21 million that ever exist. And the Zcash technology is going to be integrated with both, from what I understand, Ethereum and Bitcoin. So if Ethereum and Bitcoin are both using, I think it's the Z-Snark privacy technology with the Zcash, which I believe Zencash also has. Zencash was I believe a hard fork from Z Classic, which was a hard fork from Zcash. So you have Zencash out there, which I'm super bullish on. But the point is that the Zencash to Zcash, there's a limit to the number, a hard limit to the number that there are. And let me just see if it says over here. Circulating supply. So we got the total circulating supply listed on CoinMarketCap at 2.1 million. I'm pretty sure that it simulates Bitcoin, and there's never going to be more than 21 million Zcash. So it's really interesting to see how the privacy coins are folding up into the technology. In other news around the market cap review that we're not going to be talking about later, we have IOTA, which it's been published that there were some pretty significant security issues with IOTA that were discovered, brought to IOTA's attention, and then addressed by IOTA. Nevertheless, there's apparently a series of red flags and a series of steps, benign steps that have been taken and actions in terms of the process and the procedure of the IOTA setup of their infrastructure, of their technology. And these benign steps have sort of been looked at and essentially they're being looked at, and that IOTA is not being set up for success. And so IOTA is really based around the Internet of Things and connecting all of these devices in your home, in your car, in your business, devices that you have, devices that your kids have, devices that your family uses, everything from an Android tablet to a Roomba to a refrigerator that's connected to the Wi-Fi, of which all of these things exist, right? And so the IoT technology, that's essentially the future, wants to connect this IoT technology and humans, and connecting this all using blockchain technology. Well, with all of this news coming about IOTA with the security issues, it's really interesting that in a previous video we were looking at Ethereum Classic and just recognizing that with Ethereum Classic, with the summit that's going to be coming up, and them limiting the total amount of Ethereum Classic that's going to be available where Ethereum ETH is going to be almost zero, but very, very, very slightly inflationary. Ethereum Classic is going to be have a hard limit and going to be severely deflationary, up to I believe around 230 million ETC tokens. But also the Ethereum Classic token wants to gear itself to be the Internet of Technology token of the future. So really interesting stuff indeed. We'll see how that plays out. Monero's, again, doing great in terms of its Bitcoin price. Dash doing great in terms of its Bitcoin price. Ethereum down in terms of its Bitcoin price. And IOTA definitely down because of this news. So if you're wondering why IOTA is down so much, 21% in terms of dollars, where NEO is down 14%. OmiziGo is down 8%. You can see that it's pretty severe in terms of the Bitcoin price. All right, so turning to the news of the day, whipping through some different topics. First, why is this market crashing? Why are all these prices going down? Sorry about that. They're going down because of this these rumors coming out of the China exchange that China is going to be making illegal these different exchanges for people. And so with all these exchanges being illegal and people hearing the news that it's going to limit the number of exchanges available and the people who have access to these exchanges, and creating new regulations for people to access exchanges legally in China based on these rules, it will theoretically decrease the total amount of capital going into Bitcoin. And so people are selling Bitcoin, people who are traders who are in and out of the market, people with weak hands, people that don't maybe make decisions based on their own internal self, or decisions by speaking to a financial advisor. Maybe they just make decisions because of the news. And so that's what's happening. Let me see, a 25% exit. How did they get those 25% numbers? Based on when they took their screenshots compared to when we're looking at this, that's why those numbers would be different. But anyway, when we're hearing about this news, what's really, really interesting is that this news has come out, and when this news has come out, it just wasn't substantiated with the Chinese government or with the regulators. It was backed up with some sources that weren't necessarily credible, but then listed on credible news sources and news websites. So it's just still unclear at this point if this is 100% true, or if this is just rumored information coming out of China and the Chinese government, or even industries in China, in order for them to crash the market and for them to get in there and then purchase a whole lot of cheap Bitcoin. It's really interesting that it's so clear as day that they realize that someone could just make up this news, post this on the local media outlet, and know the price will go down, purchase Bitcoin at a 25% reduction, a discount, and then know the prices will just immediately correct just a couple days later, a week later, which is what we've seen so many times in the past before. So what are we going to do? Sorry to do this, but we're holding it. I'm definitely not a fan of the arches, but I'm definitely a fan of the holding it. And just to get it in your head, just hold it. Totally sorry about that. So what else? And so what else is interesting is that we know that China is mining Bitcoin. We know that there are huge mining operations with China, in China, and with that, as we've reported on this channel, Russia is poised to set themselves up with a $100 million ICO, taking $30 million, using the electrical power and existing power from the existing power companies inside of Russia, and just adding on to the power capabilities and directing that into mining, creating new infrastructure and using the existing infrastructure inside Russia to essentially own 30% of the Bitcoin mining potential in the future, which would direct 30% of the new tokens mined to Russia and those companies that are based in Russia, the accredited investors, the accredited businessmen who are a part of the governments and the corporations that are leading that nation. Well, here we have a corporation in China, and they're setting up plans to mine Bitcoin as well. And this is just one company. This is the Internet Giant GMO, with its plans to announce the Bitcoin mining business to corner around 6% of the market by 2018. And by cornering 6% of the market by 2018, and then adding on to the capital and the resources, reinvesting into the mining operations, then this one company in China could be gathering 6% of all the new Bitcoins mined, as this value per Bitcoin is increasing exponentially, as the availability of Bitcoin is becoming more and more rare. In 10 years, it's possible that companies will spend hundreds of thousands of dollars to mine a single Bitcoin. Yet in 2017, it's within reach for almost anybody in the world. Not everybody in the world anymore, because at $4,300, I would say the vast majority of the world could not just go out and purchase a Bitcoin. The vast majority of Americans, I'm pretty sure the statistics are the vast majority of Americans don't have $600 in the bank account. So that there's no way that someone could just get one. You could dollar cost average your way to it, but the point is, in the future, it could be more expensive than a single Bitcoin could be more expensive than a house. I mean, we're talking about $100,000 of Bitcoin, $1 million of Bitcoin, $10 million of Bitcoin. How far into the future do you want to go? I mean, look at kids today who are born today, even kids who were born 16 years ago, and those kids who were born 16 years ago, they do not understand a world without Facebook. They don't understand a world without internet or Snapchat. It's always been there for them. They couldn't possibly understand what it would mean if they owned 1% of all email in the entire world. I mean, could you imagine the ridiculousness of that concept? Yet that is the position that everyone is in today, at least those who are paying attention to what's happening in this world. All right, so also you might have heard about this already, but there's a new tax bill that was introduced just yesterday that's calling for all digital currencies spending under $600 to be exempt under the tax rules, of which people are disincentivized to use cryptocurrencies because of the capital gains and additional fees and taxes that are associated. Because even if you purchase a cup of coffee, then that could be triggering a capital gains tax, and it's just ridiculous for, let's say, common people to have to deal with those sort of issues when they're not, taking a baseball card or a stock and then buying it for $10 and then selling it for $1,000, or ripping off a little piece of that baseball card and then using it to purchase a cup of coffee. No, they're using the Bitcoin and a cryptocurrency as currency because it's easily transferable and easily broken down and valued and desired, and that's their intent. That's the way they're using it. And so this information is coming to us. It's being introduced through the House of Representatives through a bipartisan bill. Representatives Jared Polis, a Democrat of Colorado, and Representative David Schweswikirk, Republican from Arizona, and it's the Cryptocurrency Tax Fairness Act. And so it's going to aim to eliminate this disincentive for people to use Bitcoin. But what's really interesting is that even though there's a lot of promise, a lot of potential, a lot of benefits that's going to help create guidelines for the Treasury, part of the aspects of this that I'm wondering about is how does this bill get through the final stages, and what are the additional pieces of information that are going to be included in this bill, the additional regulations or red tape that may be required, and how will that affect people? It'll be interesting to see, how many lines get added, to these lines of text right here. But we'll be looking forward to getting that information and then reporting back on that with you for you. All right. In other news, it was tweeted out by Barry Silbert that the Ethereum ETF 19B-4 filing has been withdrawn by the New York State Stock Exchange Corporation. And he gives his translation that this means that there's going to be no ETF for ETH. And why is Barry Silbert talking about this? Why is Barry Silbert sharing this information with us? The reason is because Barry Silbert is connected to Grayscale. This is his company. And Grayscale, if you go to Grayscale and click on the Ethereum Classic Investment Trust at the top of the webpage, Grayscale has the the Bitcoin Investment Trust. And with the Bitcoin Investment Trust that you've heard about and that accredited investors are able to invest their money into, there's also the only other investment trust, and that is the Ethereum Classic Investment Trust. And this creates shares that are the first securities that are solely invested in deriving value from the price of ETC Ethereum Classic. This on top of the fact that there's going to be the summit upcoming. This on top of the fact that they're going to be diving deep into the world of the Internet of Things and different Internet of Things, connecting blockchain technology to this blockchain, in addition to the other smart contract applications that are being developed with Ethereum Classic as opposed to being developed with Ethereum ETH. So, the issue that we have with ETFs is that why would you invest into an ETF? Because with an ETF, you're not able to hold and secure and store your own private keys. And so that puts your ETC at risk. Well, if you have a 401k and you have to put your 401k money somewhere and your options are only fiat, and then this happens and now your options are fiat or the Ethereum Classic Investment Trust, well, now at least you have somewhere to put your money that, could diversify your 401k portfolio. That could make sense to a lot of Americans, a lot of people across the world. And in addition to that, it would increase the value of Ethereum Classic overall for all of the holders, because at this point with the roadmap, Ethereum Classic would be severely limited with the number of new Ethereum Classics that would be available as time went on. All right, so that was a lot of information. There's a lot going on in this world. Share your thoughts and your questions in the boxes below. Let us know, what do you think about Japan getting into the game, or this major company in Japan getting into the game to mine Ethereum, and all these companies and all these countries all over the world that are all staking to get a piece of the pie. Perhaps staking is the wrong word, right? But are all poised to take a piece of the pie in terms of the mining of new Bitcoin. And how that makes staking and proof of stake coins really, really interesting. How Ethereum is going to be moving the proof of stake, how Pivx is all proof of stake. Really, really interesting to see how that's going. And what do you think about the ETFs? What do you think about the United States regulation? Do you think we have, is that good news? Do you think we're going to be pointed in a positive direction for where that is going? Do you think we're going to be seeing more FUD come out of China before we reach our final destination? And thinking about it, I suppose we've received a lot of FUD from the United States. We received a lot of FUD from Russia. We've received a lot of FUD coming from China. We probably have a whole year or year and a half of FUD coming out of Europe before China's even done. So each of those are going to be dips in the price. They'll be really interesting to watch, and it'll be really interesting to know what you think. So again, you tap that like button, leave your comments below, upvote us on SteemIt, be part of the community, be part of the conversation, and pay attention to what's going on. Not financial advice, make your own decisions, but these are really exciting times and we're so excited to be sharing this information with you. Thanks for being part of the show. So with that being said, we'll talk again soon, and I'm glad that together we're minting coins.